And we're back at it again with another live one. And welcome back to all my Bi-Conics fans out there for another exciting Beat the Clock review, as our series is called, for Monday Night Raw of August 7th, 2023. The Raw squad is back with it again. I am one of your hosts, Mikey. Joined with me always is the one and only Minnie. And what it do, you? And I was perplexed, bamboozled, like lied to, cheated on, because this was an actually pretty good episode of Raw. Where was this for the last month or so?
Not present on our TV screens, that's for damn sure.
It was like night and day. And what's weird is we left SummerSlam with a bad taste in our mouth of how underwhelmed we are. And then Monday Night Raw decides to let's flip the script now. I'm like, where was this? Like the last month or so as we were building towards SummerSlam. I don't know, man.
Not on our TV screens, that's for damn sure.
I don't know if they decided to get it together backstage or somebody else was put in charge, but this literally felt like a different Monday Night Raw than what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. It's like, and we'll go in, yeah.
WWE product, I've watched it, and Backlash, it's like Backlash.
Jeez Louise, it's crazy. And I mean, we'll dive deeper into it once we go through the actual review. But overall thoughts, man, this is actually a really good episode of Raw, and quite frankly, I'm shocked. And I don't know if it's because my expectations have been low that I'll take anything, but pacing was great, matches were fun, new feuds are being set up. It felt so different, but let's just jump straight into it. So I don't even want to go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry. I mean, after we got a 5-minute, 7-minute recap of SummerSlam, I'm just like, okay. I was like, I guess that makes sense for people that don't watch the pay-per-views, but all right. We start off with Cody coming down to the ring, and he cuts his promo. He talks about his match against Brock Lesnar, and he showed the photo of them shaking hands after the match in the ring and getting Brock Lesnar's respect. And Cody ultimately says that now that he has taken care of Brock, he feels like he can take on anybody right now on the roster. And who should interrupt him but Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth comes down after the crowd spends a couple minutes singing his theme song. Seth comes down and he basically says to Cody, look, you said you could beat anybody. How about me and you figure this right now? Still playing off of the history they had when Cody came back last year at WrestleMania and the series of matches they had. But before anything could happen, Judgment Day comes out. But surprisingly, it's just Dominic, Damian, and Rhea. No Finn to be seen anywhere for the beginning of this. Damian runs down saying that they run Monday Night Raw and that Seth and Cody are just in the way and that they do something about it. Then Finn attacks, and then Sammy comes down for the save. A brawl breaks out, and ultimately this sets up our main event tonight. Well, what was advertised as our main event at this point of the show, it would be Sammy, Cody, and Seth taking on the Judgment Day boys of Dominic, Damian, and Finn. My only issue with this is that I was like, can we get some different iteration? Because I'm tired of seeing the same iteration of Dominic, Finn, Damian, Sammy, Cody, Seth. I was just like, we've been getting this for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, we're doing this again. All right, fine. But
but who else do they have?
That's true. And obviously this changed as the show went on, which was a nice surprise. Because initially I figured, okay, Cody versus Seth could be a nice little feud. But I think we got our next feud for Seth at the end of the show, which we'll talk about it. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what's next for Cody. We still don't know what that is, but hopefully the next couple weeks tells us. Next, we get a quick backstage segment with Adam Pearce. He sets up that he's going to have a fatal 4-way, and the winner will go on to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. And then we just jump straight into the match. So in this fatal 4-way to become the IC Championship #1 contender, we have Ricochet versus Matt Riddle versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Chad Gable. My God.
Thank you.
Thank you. My God, I wish they got more time than 10 minutes, but holy shit, this match
They killed
slapped.
it.
This match
They killed it.
slapped.
They're all super, super talented. They're all very good at what they do. And of course, Chad Gable was an absolute monster with that Tower of Doom German suplex spot. Oh, sick.
Ricochet selling the hell out of it. Everyone hit like everything. That Matt Riddle's knee strikes still make me like grab my pillow while I'm watching him. Like, I heard that. The Widow's belt.
What's worse? His what did they say? The Final Flash knee or the V trigger?
That would be an interesting theory. I think the V trigger, like, it looks like it hurts more, but Riddle's like sounds like it hurts more.
Crazy thing is how many of these moves are named after video game and anime references too.
Seriously, I mean, I feel like wrestlers are a bunch of nerds to begin with, so
They all are. They all are nerds.
It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Matt Riddle's knee strikes, the Widow's Bell from Tommaso, Ricochet out here being Ricochet, Chad Gable doing a diving headbutt from the top rope to break up the pin, just like a full-on missile.
Move so loud.
I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, this match, I wanted more time, but the 10 minutes we got was an absolute. This match slapped. And of course, we saw Chad Gable pick up the win, much deservedly so, which means that he is the number one contender. And at some point down the line, he will be facing Gunther for that Intercontinental Championship. And we discussed this morning in our Bi-Conics group chat. JVL feels that that's awesome, but he feels that Chad is not taking this title off Gunther. I'm like, hear me out. We push this feud up to Payback, and then that's when Chad can take it.
I didn't want to. I saw the text. I didn't want to read them because I was like, I haven't watched Raw yet.
So I would hope that they push this out to Payback, in which by Payback, Gunther will be the new longest reigning IC champion. So then I would be like, okay, let's have Chad take it off him and have a run with it. We're going to see more of Chad and Alpha Academy later in the show. So next we
feel it in my waters.
I feel it in my waters. Yep, I was just like, way to go, JVL. We love you. So next we get this quick Cody, Sammy, and Seth backstage segment where Sammy is trying to keep the peace and Cody and Seth are fighting. The girls are fighting.
See, I understand that that's maybe a feud they want to push, but there was like no reason for Cody and Sammy to hate each other right now.
Well, Cody and Seth, I totally get. Sammy is just trying to play peacekeeper.
Cody and Seth, that's what I meant. Like, you came after my belt.
They have history, but it's just like it's weird. But I think that we're separating the two of them for a little bit because after the main event, it seems that we have our next feud set up. But Sammy playing peacekeeper, trying to get them on the same page. Both of them leave, and then Sammy's just like, "What is happening?" So for next, we get this cool. This was the start of something great because next we get the Miz coming in, being his Miz self, and then one of the production assistants like, "Miz, I need you to wait right here. We're doing this photo shoot real quick." And Miz is like, "The Miz doesn't wait. Who is more important than me?" And then we slowly pan over to Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah. In the photo shoot, I was like, first question, isn't he on SmackDown? Second thing that came to my mind, Miz. Exactly. Third thing that came to my mind, Miz and LA Knight feuding? Okay, I'm actually kind of here for it.
That was such a good promo battle.
Oh, man, we will talk about it. I
don't even do promos, but damn.
We will get into it because that was amazing. So Miz gets mad and he leaves. And then to close out the first hour of Raw, we've seen this match before, but I love seeing some hard-hitting stuff. Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Bronson Reed. Lord have mercy. I will also shout out Michael Cole. Thank you for acknowledging Shinsuke's IWGP runs as champion, which is crazy.
I was surprised. I'm like, wait, did they talked about New Japan? What?
Yeah, it was at that moment I was like, oh, somebody else is in charge tonight because Michael Cole's mentioning other wrestling promotions. I'm like, somebody else is in charge.
It's like, oh, it's Triple H. He's in charge.
Maybe. I will say it's probably Nick Khan, Triple H, some iteration of whatever faction they got going on behind the scenes. Because it just felt different.
I like that faction.
Yes, I like that faction too, especially if that means we can get good, consistent television like this every single week. But man, I will say, even though we've seen this match a couple of times already, I will always love Shinsuke and Bronson. Bronson, like, being the big boy that he is, throw Shinsuke around. Shinsuke doing his strikes is always amazing. And Shinsuke picks up the win here, is decisive. So I think we're done with these two feuding because, both of them hopefully move on to bigger and better things, which one of them will in a little bit. I would like to say, I was kind of surprised to see that the first hour of Raw there were no commercials. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I noticed that too because I was watching on the USA app, and it was like the first hour there's nothing.
No commercials, no picture in picture. Like, I was pleasantly surprised, and this was a better no commercial first hour than the Monday night after Mania Raw, because that first hour was doo doo. But this was amazing. So we start off the second hour where we get a recap of what's been going on with Rhea and Raquel. And then we pan over to the medical office where Adam Pearce says that Raquel is still not ready to face Rhea yet, but we'll get there. And surprisingly enough, we see two other women that I have not been on my television screen in quite some time. We see Raquel being consoled by Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Hi, ladies. It's so happy to see that you are still in WWE and not stuck in catering anymore.
That's right.
I was like, how dare you put Candice and Indy not on my screen? I know Indy is still recovering, but you can at least let her and like Candice and Johnny and Dexter. I was like, I want the way back on my television screen. But they're consoling Raquel, and I'm just happy to see them back on my screen. Okay, let's talk about this because normally I hate romance angles in WWE, but I feel like this one actually works pretty well given the people involved. So we have another backstage segment. We see Maxine Dupri on the phone, like talking to somebody and getting some stuff to celebrate Chad Gable's win as number one contender. And then Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium, of all people, comes in and tries.
Ludwig Kaiser. I like the way she says that.
I know, it's funny. A friend of mine put it as like, "Yo, it's Lud Riz Kaiser." I was like, "Don't use that word." I was like, "No, we need
Riz Kaiser."
Seriously, this man has no fear. I'm sitting here and I'm just like, "Ooh, Tiffany's going to yell at you when you guys get home." Because funny enough, I didn't know this until after last night. Ludwig is dating Tiffany Stratton.
He is Luke Riz.
I know. I was just like, dang, you talking to all the blondes. But Ludwig is trying to hit on Maxine while also basically like trashing Alpha Academy, specifically Otis. And before he's able to say anything, Maxine hits him across the face. And then as Ludwig kind of turns away and turns back to be like, ooh, I like playing hard to get. Who should be in his face? But, oh, Otis. Yeah, Otis.
So I'm gonna go back to the beginning segment with Cody and those guys.
Uh-huh.
How the hell is Seth out here wrestling those big ass yellow boots?
I was like, it's like a mixture of the red boots he wore, but they're also Crocs all of a sudden.
Like Seth is the most unserious wrestler right now with that. I saw that, I was like, that is awesome.
It's like
I'm not even mad at it. It's dope.
He saw a wiffle ball and was just like, turn those into shoes now.
I need those to be big and yellow.
And they stayed on, and when he kicked people in the face.
Sorry, I saw that. I was looking on Twitter, and I was just like, oh, my bad, X. And I saw the boots, so I was like, how the hell he be using those?
I honestly don't. I love his outlandish fashion choices. Since he's become like the fashionista, it's been one of my favorite like small bits that he has. So back to Maxine, Otis, and Ludwig. Otis is like, hey man, like I don't like you talking trash about Alpha Academy, and if you got something to prove, let's prove it to the ring, which sets up what we're gonna get later. Next, the man, Becky Lynch, comes down to the ring and cuts a promo. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that she'd go off and like be like, when you're not on the SummerSlam card. But obviously she can't because she'd get in trouble.
Right.
So she cuts this promo. She's hyping up that she's a fighting girl, that she's going to tear Trish a new one. But before she gets any further, Zoe Stark interrupts and comes down to the ring. I made a note in my notes saying that I was like, damn, that Southern twang of Zoe Stark is slowly coming out, and I'm kind of here for it. Because as she was talking, I was like, ooh, girl, I can hear that southern twang come out of your voice. But basically, Becky calls her out, telling Zoe that, you're very talented, but maybe that's the problem. You have everything handed to you, or you attach yourself to somebody and you're riding Trish's coattails. Zoe disagrees and says that Becky is jealous and that, she's not as successful. And Zoe is just gifted that way while Becky had to work for everything and she's not naturally as talented. And then the last person I was expecting to come out and interrupt, Shayna Baszler, comes out and she's like, listen, y'all, I'm like, I may be injured. Look at this black eye on my face. But if we want to talk about badass women, I just fought Ronda Rousey, and and I ran her out of here. So if we're gonna talk about badass women, it's going to be me. And then of course Becky, being the instigator that she is, she's like, well, let's settle this dispute right now. If Adam Pearce wants to come down and make this match official, let's have Zoe take on Shayna, which sets up their match that happens afterward. We'll talk. I had questions during this match because I'm like, Becky, where did you get lemonade from?
I was wondering the same thing, but it was funny.
That was hilarious. But before their match, honestly, let's talk about this Judgment Day segment because I was like, the seeds of chaos are being planted right here. So Finn is talking to finally JD McDonough, who I haven't seen on my television screen, in quite some time.
Well, we're about to get fifth member of Judgment Day. It looks like.
Ooh, I can't wait. So Finn's talking to JD. Damian comes up to confront Finn. I was like, bro, what was that earlier today? You didn't come out with us, and then you attacked Seth. I was like, we weren't on the same page. It's like you had your own plan, and then Finn fought back, stating that, well, just like Saturday, you had your own plan, and that's what caused me to lose. And then Damian retorts back, is like, they were just arguing back and forth, trying to figure out who to blame for the loss, and they were ready to fight. And then Mommy Rhea comes in. Mommy,
she broke the internet the other day. I'm not sure if you guys saw that.
I'm not surprised, but
oh, you haven't seen that?
No, you're gonna send it to me, and I will look at it after we're done. But
no,
Mommy,
look at it right now.
Do it. So Mommy Rhea comes in, and she's like being peacekeeper, telling the boys to chill. One loss isn't going to destroy them. They still have the Money in the Bank briefcase, and they're on the same page, which they agree. And then JD plotting over here, he's just like, it's really not my place to say, and I might be out of line, but that briefcase has created a big wedge between the two. You should probably get rid of it, and then walks off screen. I'm just with Finn, and then Damian's ready to fight, but Rhea holds him back. I'm excited. I'm happy to see JD back into the mix. Like, I wonder if he's plotting to get Finn away from them, or like maybe he's trying to get Finn kicked out so JD can be a part of it. I see why she broke the internet now.
Right.
Jeez. Still not trying to fight her boyfriend.
Nope.
But
neither of them.
None of them.
Did you see the cute clip when she was doing the thing for SummerSlam, the VIP thing? Her and Damian were taking pictures.
Yeah.
And this little kid comes in and he comes in to take the picture and starts pushing Damian.
Oh, Dominic, yeah. I saw that.
He was like, I want mommy.
I was like, I can't be like, Dominic's still a character. Rhea's trying not to bust up laughing.
Oh, she is laughing.
I know.
It's just like,
she breaks
what?
She breaks character. You could tell Dominic is also trying not to like break character and laugh his butt off too.
It's so funny.
I know they're heels, but they are like.
That is like, Judgment Day is so hard to hate because I see stuff like I see their social media posts of them just hanging out and just being like a family, and it's awesome.
Seriously, and I'm just like,
everybody's there except for Finn most of the time too.
That's hysterical. Like, I know we're supposed to hate them, but I'm like, dang, you guys. Like, I can't really hate them. But next, honestly, this match between Zoe and Shayna, I was like, it was slow at first, but honestly, it was actually pretty good too.
I think they kept it to be slow. I think Shayna might have been sore as hell still.
Yeah, so they really couldn't go all out. I still think that Zoe is very, very athletically talented, and she's really good. And I like seeing that her promo work is getting better. But she's nothing to sneeze at, but ultimately Shayna, and again, I'm like, Becky, where did you get this lemonade from?
That's why she didn't pour it on anybody.
That's what I said. Like, I thought it was going to be some distractive schmoz finish that caused Zoe to lose, but Becky is out here just chilling, doing the Triple H impersonation with the lemonade, which is funny. So, towards the finishing sequence, Becky gets out of her chair when Zoe kind of walks over, but they don't interact, and Zoe's just yelling at her. She turns back in to get back in the ring, and then Shayna's still sore, so I'm giving this finisher a little bit of grace, but like she plants Zoe, um, but it doesn't look that well. But it also might be because she's really sore. She couldn't do the full rotation, but she plants Zoe for the 1, 2, 3, and Shayna is your winner. I mean, I understand that you needed Becky on screen, but I was just like, I was surprised no Trish, or not even a
Yeah,
no video package from Trish either. Because I mean,
surprised she wasn't there.
which is weird because their match is next week. I was like, okay, I mean, no Trish or I mean, Becky mentioned Trish, but no run in from Trish, no video package, which I'm surprised because that match is happening next week in Canada. But honestly, I'm okay with it because we got to see later. Becky looks to have her eyes set on somebody else, or somebody has their eyes set on her eventually. So next, we get this backstage segment. Byron interviews Shinsuke. He's tired of people getting in his way, and as he tries to continue to explain this, uh, it's interrupted with some fighting off screen. The camera turns, and we see JD McDonough like attacking Sammy. Man, that elbow does not look great. It's like,
That's that John Cena elbow.
I know he needs to get it drained or whatever happened to it. I was like, oh, Sammy's injured. Oh, damn it. Man, they're probably gonna strip the titles, which sucks, but you know what it is. But JD attacking Sammy has consequences for the main event. So before we get into those consequences, we see Otis versus Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, I'm mad we got deprived of the worm.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited to see that caterpillar.
I'm so upset we didn't get it. Ludwig picks up the win here. Imperium beat down on Otis. Hometown hero Chad Gable, which was another thing I was surprised that he won his match, because usually WWE logic they don't let hometown heroes win. But
Right?
he comes down for the save. Has Imperium run off. Imperium is being booed. I like that we're gonna get Alpha Academy versus Imperium. I hope it's not just a 1 month feud to lead to payback and then that's it. But I mean, it's nice because last week we had Chad versus Gunther, and then now all of Imperium and Alpha Academy is getting involved. Imperium just needs a female to add to the stable if we want Maxine to be fighting them as well. But I like it. And then we get the answer to our consequences. Doctors have not cleared Sammy, so Cody and Seth need to find another partner, and Shinsuke comes up after Cody leaves because Cody let Seth do the interview. And so Shinsuke talks to Seth, be like, hey, I know you need somebody. I'm willing to step in. And Seth is like, all right, Shinsuke, you got this. You're in. So now our main event turns into the Judgment Day boys taking on Cody, Seth, and Shinsuke. I was like, Shinsuke is wrestling twice tonight. That's a first that I've seen that in quite some time, where a wrestler wrestles more than one match.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in a minute.
For reals. So that ended hour 2. Hour 3.
What the
Okay.
fuck was that, Craig?
I know. Craig is out here wilding. Okay.
Fuck you, Craig.
Let's talk about probably my favorite promo segment of the night. Miz comes down to the ring and he talks about, all these new superstars have no respect, that they expect, they get here and they expect a lot. They don't earn anything. Everything's handed to them. And then LA Knight interrupts and comes down. And my God, this promo between the two of them is what I have been wanting since LA Knight came up to the main roster, and finally getting it. They have
Killed it.
They have such a nice back and forth, and I find it interesting that they are making LA Knight the face in this feud, because the things he was saying, I mean, he was firing back at Miz, but like he was acting like a face. It's like, okay, no handshake, not a hello. Okay. I was just like, wow, LA Knight as a baby face. That's crazy.
And I like every second of it. Came out
Oh,
there and tried to shake the Miz hand. Miz was like, nah, you don't deserve my handshake because I'm a 2-time Grand Slam champion. And I've been doing this for 20 years. Where have you been for the last 20 years? And LA Knight's like, wait my turn,
man,
bitch.
man, I always love when wrestlers use personal stuff. So we, as a wrestling audience, we know all the backstage stuff that happened between the locker room and Miz when he first got to WWE. And Miz just listed us out. He's like, I know what it's like. I had to earn everything I had. It was just like, I was kicked out of the locker room. I was made fun of. I was this. I was that. And you know what I did with it? I did what I had to, and I made it a 20-year career out of this. And just Mrs. is like, I made a character and a name for myself. You're just the 90s. You're just
You're just a Attitude Era ripoff.
yeah, you're just an attitude cosplayer in my ring. I was like, oh shit.
LA Knight was like, hold on, no. The reason why is because you're soft and you took it. Nah. Then they made fun of his Miz's tiny balls again.
Of course, I mean, that's always going to be a staple. But LA Knight says it's like, you're right. I haven't been here that long, but but my 20-year career has been different. I was like, I have been making waves. I've been pulling ahead of everybody, and I've always been outside looking in. And now they want me. So the difference between me and you is that my 20 plus year career, I have achievements to speak of. And then he digs at Miss. It's like, what has your 20 career yielded? I can tell you what has gone straight into the toilet. Your 20-year career is because you're reliable. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Then it ended. The Miz tried to, sneak attack the other jacket, do the thing. Then LA Knight hit. I love LA Knight, but he needs a new finisher. But
For
he hit
reals, I agree.
he hit, what is it even called again?
I don't even know, man, but like Miz tries to go for the skull crushing finale, and then LA's is like a bootleg version of that, just in reverse. Like, yeah, LA Knight needs a new finisher. But man, if this is the feud we're getting, I will dismiss the fact that I will dismiss all logic, even though we have to anyways for WWE most of the time. But
Oh, it's called a blunt force trauma, the BFT.
the
He hits
BFT,
it on the Miz, and then he lays down next to Miz and shakes his limp hand and
that
walks
was
out.
so good. Man, I'm excited for this feud. I hope it's not just a 1 month, again, a one pay-per-view cycle feud and then we're done. I will excuse the fact that LA Knight is supposed to be on SmackDown, but this is I knew these two would have a good promo. LA Knight did trip up his words a tiny bit, but he recovered pretty well throughout the feud. But I mean, through the promo. But man, I'm excited to see Miz and LA Knight feud for the next however long we get this. The promos are going to be insane.
Even though we would love to have a Grayson Waller Miz feud, I think this is a good replacement.
Shoot, throw Grayson Waller into the mix and have all three of them go off on the mic.
No, I think you just have. I think this is I guess I like the idea we came up with the SummerSlam thing of Grayson Waller and the Miz having a ratings battle about whose talk show is better. That correlates with them like in a match.
Right. I also like this feud too because like who is the bigger star? Like they've had this about the same amount of time. They've accomplished different things both in and out of WWE. So we're going to find out who's the better of the two. And I'm here for it. It's going to oh man, it's going to be great. And then hour 3 kept going with the fun surprises. So the Viking Raiders have this little segment before their match where they're calling out any tag team to come face them. And who is the tag team that answers their challenge? But
New Day?
yes, it is. And I kid you not, I screamed at my television when I heard Big E's voice, and then I saw Xavier and Kofi come down in the ring, and I'm like, and that is at that point, that's what I texted in the group chat. I'm like, the boys are back. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see the New Day back. I know Kofi has been out with injury. Xavier was out with injury for a little bit. He's also killing it with the Summer Games right now at Up Up Down Down. It's so good. This was a nice, quick little match. It served its purpose of reestablishing that the New Day is back, and they still got it even after some time off. Viking Raiders did get in a little bit of offense, but ultimately they couldn't match
Couldn't handle the power of positivity.
exactly. And New Day picks up the win here. I'm so happy to see the New Day back. Especially, we don't know what's going to happen now with these tag titles, but having the New Day be back in the tag team scene opens up like other matches we want to see. New Day, whenever Kevin Owens and Sammy get, cleared, and if they're still champions, Sammy and KO versus New Day is something I want to see.
I don't think Sammy's injury is going to take him out long, because when Cena had that injury, he wasn't out for super long.
Right.
So I think he should be relatively okay.
Kevin's
I think
a
it's
different
like
story.
a week to drain it, and then like a week or two for it to heal. I'm not sure what is KO's injury.
He has a rib injury, apparently. So I don't know how long those take, but KO is out for a little bit. But just the whole tag, both the men's and women's tag team champions, they're like cursed because Sammy and KO are injured. Sonya is injured.
Oh, it's a broken rib.
Yeah, so that's gonna take a bit to heal, which sucks. But it is what it is. So I haven't heard reports that we're looking to strip the titles from the men's, and no talk has been talked about, Chelsea getting and Sonya getting the title stripped. I think you just you find somebody that Chelsea can have for a little bit, because I'm tired of the women being stripped because of injuries. Like
that, it's happened to like every tag. Like if you're getting the women's tag titles, you're getting hurt. Somebody's getting hurt.
Like if and I'm just like, Chelsea, and because these tag titles apparently can go between both brands on the main roster and NXT, just find someone to pair Chelsea with. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, who would be a good fit? But
Anybody who's not doing anything.
Put Piper Niven in that role. Chelsea versus Piper would be something I want to see.
Yeah, anybody who's not
injured
doing
doing
not
anything.
doing anything right now. Somebody who's just stuck in catering.
For reals. And then, like, once Sonya's ready to come back, then Chelsea's carrying character be like, "You're fired. Get out of here." That'd be hilarious. But, we'll see. We get this backstage segment, and it was funny that the New Day acknowledged of how long they've been gone, because the interview person comes up, and then Kofi's like, "Wait, who are you?"
That was funny.
I was like, they're acknowledging of how long they've been gone, but basically the New Day says is that they're here with with everything that's happening in the tag division. Like they acknowledge the Street Profits turning heel, that the Usos are breaking up. Like they need to inject the power of positivity back into the tag team division. And then Xavier goes on to list their accomplishments. And then, of course, one day we can be at Do This With Us WWE World Tag Champions. God, I missed them on my television screen. I'm so happy they're back.
Oh, me too. I love them today.
Okay, so now we get to the main event, but before even the match starts, right? Judgment Day comes out and they're doing their entrance, and then big old Raquel Rodriguez comes out and she just jumps Rhea. And
she came out, and then who else? Somebody else came out too.
Yeah, so Raquel comes out, she beats up on Rhea. The two end up fighting. Security and Adam Pearce and backstage people have to break them up. And then Candice and Indy come out to kind of try to help pull things apart. And then Rhea grabs Indy, throws her against the barricade. Then she grabs Candice and throws her on the floor. And then as Rhea tries to get ready to start beating up on Raquel, Candice jumps out of nowhere and like tackles Rhea to the ground. And Rhea and Candice start fighting. Like, and then I laugh so hard because Rhea throws a shoe at her at one point. Like, she takes off her shoe and throws it at Candice as they're trying to be separated, and they're yelling. Honestly, this is what I've been missing in my women's division. I miss when the women just like straight up fight each other like this. It's been
yeah.
And honestly, until Raquel gets cleared, like Candice versus Rhea is actually something I'd be cool with. I don't care if for the title or not, but just get Rhea wrestling again. Rhea versus Candice actually would slap if given the time. So this goes into our commercial, and then when we come back, I laugh so hard because Dominic's just staring at this fight. It's like, I don't know what to do here. And the Judgment Day boys are like, we're just gonna let them fight. The Judgment Day boys are smart. We're like, we're not getting in the way of Rhea because she'll kill us. And then we get to our actual main event. The Judgment Day boys of Finn, Damian, and Dominic taking on the team of Cody, Seth, and Shinsuke. I thought this was a fun match. It served its purpose. I was surprised of how much control Judgment Day had of this match. Like, if I were to split it, they were in control for like 60, like, or 55% of this match.
Yeah,
And they were getting it in. And Dominic actually was doing most of the work too, which I was shocked.
well, because the other guys are fighting all the time, so they make a little baby boy Dom do everything.
I guess that's fine. And I was like, good on you, Dom. Get that working because you are definitely going to be needing it, especially tonight on NXT, where he'll be defending that title against Drag. God, I hope that match with him and Dragon Lee is great. And then I'm interested to see how Rhea and Ray play a part in it because Rhea's going to be in Dominic's corner. Rey Mysterio is going to be in Dragon Lee's corner.
Ray has no qualms in smacking a woman, so.
Honestly,
in WWE set and wrestling sense.
Not in actual life, but
no, he's a great person.
Ray will be fighting men and women on the roster left and right, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. That's gonna be match, but yeah, Dominic did great in this match. He actually did most of the work. Finn and Damien would come in ever so often. Seth and Cody, I was like, okay, will they, won't they, can they coexist? And they actually pulled it together. And then Shinsuke took a lot of beating from Dominic, which I was also really surprised with. I was like, damn, they're letting Shinsuke get beat up by Dominic. Because we know Shinsuke.
I think they're trying to push Dominic as being more of an actual wrestler and less of a punching bag.
True. But ultimately, it was not enough because Cody, Seth, and Shinsuke pick up the win here. Once again, Judgment Day cannot seem to get it together, which also is furthering this dissension in Judgment Day for the storyline purposes. And then I looked at the clock when the match was over. I'm like, we still got like 2 minutes left. What's about to happen? And so then the logo Cody, Seth, and Sammy comes down because Sammy actually was the one that helped.
Yeah, because Breeze hit the back of. It looked like it might have clipped Finn's head too, but he smacked the back of Damien's back with the briefcase while Cody was trying to go right. Damien hit the back of Cody's back while Cody was trying to go with the crossroads to kind of get the match, doing their heel things. And then Sami Zayn came out and was like, nah, you ain't doing that. I got beat up because of you fuckers.
Right, and then, which ultimately gave Cody, Seth, and Shinsuke the win. All 4 men are celebrated in the ring, Sammy included. We got like 2 minutes left. I'm like, what's about to go down? So Seth and Cody go to the ring post to celebrate. Sammy also goes to one. Shinsuke does not, and he's just looking around. And then as soon as Seth gets down and turns around, Shinsuke hits a Kinshasa on Seth and exits the ring slowly. So it seems that for the next feud for Seth, we are getting him versus Shinsuke in this World Heavyweight Championship feud, which I'm excited about. I'm happy to see Shinsuke finally getting a push again.
Yeah.
And my only question after Raw went off the air, I was just like, so we got Shinsuke versus Seth, so that's going to be fun. What's Cody doing next? Because honestly, I like the prospect of Cody and Seth feuding for a little bit, but Shinsuke and Seth are going to be feuding, so what's Cody going to do is my question. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess he could continue to fight Judgment Day, but that doesn't serve anybody's, I guess. I don't know. I hope we figure out a direction for Cody in the next couple of weeks to see, we'll see what happens. Because now that Roman is not going to be appearing until November, you need your other your top heel is not going to be scheduled until November. So your top babyface on the men's roster right now is Cody. So we got to figure out something to do for him. But overall, man, I was shocked of how good this episode of Raw was. Everything flowed nicely. It felt like nothing really was out of place. Everything was paced well. The matches were awesome. The segments flowed nicely. Narratively, from a storytelling perspective and from a writer's perspective, this ticked all my boxes, and this was actually a really good episode. So let's jump into final ratings. So this week's Raw. You know what? This is crazy. I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10 minis for this Raw. I was really surprised, and I had a good time with it.
I'm going to give it a 7. solid 7 out
Mhm.
of 10 minis.
For sure.
It was way better than everything we've seen for the past
Oh,
2-3
absolutely.
months.
Seriously, where was all this? I guess now that we're done with the summer season, now we just work our way to Survivor Series. So I hope this is a consistent thing all the way up into Survivor Series, because if that's the case, then man, WWE will have killed it. But I just want to WWE. If you ever watch this, which I highly doubt, but Universe, if it finds its lap in WWE, whoever was in charge of this week's Monday Night Raw, please let them be in charge for the remainder of the year. Because
Oh,
if we can get
please.
this type of episode every single week, I am back in.
Can we these guys also run the pay-per-view so we have some decent pay-per-views coming up too?
Seriously, man. Like we have WWE has, well, I guess if we count Crown Jewel, we have 4 pay-per-views between now and the end of the year. So your first fall checkpoint is going to be at Payback. So we shall see what happens with that. But overall, this was an awesome episode. I already mentioned why I gave it an 8 out of 10. Minnie gives it a solid 7 out of 10. This was a good episode. And now I'm actually excited to look forward to next week's episode of Raw. But that is going to be it from myself and Minnie, the Raw Squad, reviewing Monday Night Raw. If you want like this long form review, you can check out our other long form reviews here on the YouTube channel, where we pretty much cover every other television show. We also have a special 2-hour SummerSlam review where a bunch of us plus our special guest reviewer talk about SummerSlam, and we dive into everything, and Minnie made editing a pain in the butt when he left.
I had no
I
choice.
know. It's okay. I figured it out of how to do it, and it ended up really well. And you were still able to give us some nice fun bits. If you can also follow us on the social medias, on the Instagram, the TikToks, the X, the Threads, as you can stay up to date when these reviews go live, as well as some behind the scenes shenanigans. And if you're looking for something a little different, we have the actual Bi-Conics Wrestling Podcast, where we don't review television shows and we just talk about anything and everything wrestling. It's a good time. But from all of
Yeah.
exactly from all of us here at the Bi-Conics and the Raw Squad, remember, until next time, take care of yourself, love one another, and until next time, adios, sayonara, and thanks for watching. Yes.